Hello everyone, and welcome to this tutorial introducing instance data management in Metafactory, which allows you to edit and add new data to your knowledge graph. If you haven't done so already, please make sure to first go through the tutorials on visual ontology modeling, vocabulary and taxonomy management, interlinking ontologies and vocabularies, and data cataloging with Metafactory. As you go through this video, we encourage you to reproduce the examples shown here in a separate tab in your tutorial instance. Instance data management, or data curation, in Metafactory is entirely model-driven, using previously defined ontologies and vocabularies. If you remember, in the first chapter of this tutorial, we created a project ontology, which includes a class describing the concept of a project, and has several attributes and relations. Metafactory relies on this class's attributes and relations for instance data management. The platform offers two ways to extend the knowledge graph with new instance data, using semantic forms or using the visual instance authoring component. Let's first have a look at how we do this using a semantic form. For each class that we have defined in one of our ontologies, Metafactory automatically generates a semantic form driven by the ontology that allows us to add new instance data to the graph for this class. This is an out-of-the-box form that can be accessed by clicking on Manage Instances at the top of the right panel of a class. From the Instance Usage tab, it's possible to either edit existing instances that have been created for this class or add new ones. To create a new instance, we click on the button New Instance and fill out the form. So let's do this and add a skill management project. We'll define a label, and also the organizations that this project involves and the members it includes. Let's add metaphacts and digital science in the involves field. We also need to specify the skills it requires. As you may have noticed, we have different types of fields in this form. The label is a free text field. The involves field shows a list of the organizations available in the system, and the member field shows a list of the persons available in the system. The fields for specifying skills are tree pickers reflecting the vocabulary that we looked at in Chapter 2 and interlinked with the skill class in Chapter 3. This ensures that all users use common terminology across the organization when referring to skills. Once we save our project, it's shown in the list of existing projects. When clicking on the question mark next to our project label, a knowledge panel opens up that summarizes all the data available about this project. Metafactory also leverages the underlying ontology to perform model-driven data validation. This can be particularly useful when automatically extracting and adding large amounts of data to your knowledge graph and mapping that to the ontology, as Metafactory allows you to quickly find inconsistencies in your data. To try this, we will first need to generate an inconsistency in the project ontology. Then, we can run the validation and explore its results. If you remember, in our project ontology, we defined that projects can require skills, but we did not set this as a mandatory property. So the first thing we'll do is create a project without any associated skills. Now we'll go back to our project ontology and define that projects require a minimum of one skill. After saving this new minimum count for the relation, we will be generating an inconsistency with the already created instance social media campaign project, because when we created that instance, we left this field empty, but now it is mandatory. By running Metafactory's data validation, we will be able to see this violation and adjust our data to match the requirements defined by our model. Let's now have a look at how to add instance data using the visual authoring component. What we see here is a canvas that allows us to visually add new instances. This is very similar to the graph exploration component in Metafactory and the visual ontology modeling interface we saw in Chapter 1. So here we can click on Create Person, which will add a new node on the canvas. In the panel on the right, we can define the name of the person. We can also create a new project, for example, Metafactory Tutorial Project, and then establish a connection to the person created before, by selecting one of the available relations that are possible between the classes of these instances. Here again, we see all the fields in the forms for creating new instances. The relations we can add on the canvas are driven by the underlying ontologies we defined beforehand. And this concludes our intro to instance data management with Metafactory. As a next step, you can start with the last chapter in this tutorial on leveraging ontologies and vocabularies to build an end-user interface with Metafactory. Thank you for watching.